Tonight, we have news on Tron and other Disney World news and events information for you, and the news you want to hear when you want to hear it. We will also have a little discussion on Disney Plus, where it is and what's going on with that. Then we'll talk about our favorite places we like to be at Walt Disney World. So let's get into it right now. Jess is here, Darlene Nagy is here, and I am Stuart Sternberg, and I'm going to swing it back to Jess again. Take it away with tonight's news.
Hello, everybody. I have a lot of little things I'm excited to talk about today and some non-Disney stuff that I'd like to talk about. So I'm going to start right in with Tron. There are annual pass and DVC previews coming up. We do not have official dates for those yet. However, we do have a date for registration, and that is this Thursday, February 16th. So please check your emails. If you received an email as an annual pass holder or a DVC member, you will be able to log in and hopefully sign up for a preview date. We are looking forward to that. The official opening date is April 4th. So if you are not an annual pass holder or a DVC member, you will get to ride Tron after April 4th. Because April 4th seems to be closed up now. Unless you have a park pass, just stay tuned for information about that. I do have more information about the lockers as well. Have been cast members that are doing previews right now until the beginning of March. And they have given us information about how the lockers work. So you will need to use a Magic Band or your ticket. Magic Mobile will not be available for these lockers. And if you don't have a ticket or a Magic Band, if you have been using Magic Mobile, a cast member can hook you up with a ticket that will help you with that. If you forget your number, not if you forget your number. Actually, yeah, that is part of it too. Sorry. So if you do forget your number, your locker number, there is a separate screen where you can scan your band and it will tell you what locker number you had. What I was going to say is if you forgot your okay, yes, that's right. So if you left your Magic Band in the locker, then a cast member will be able to open it up for you, but you do have to describe what's in your locker so that you're not just trying to open up somebody else's locker. Let's see. I have a question about this. I wonder, what if you leave your stuff in the locker? I don't feel like carrying my bag around today. I'm going to leave it in that locker. I don't know if they're going to allow you to do that. I would assume not, because they have lockers that you need to pay for. So I'm not sure what is going to happen with your locker. If maybe it'll expire. I'm pretty sure they're going to be locking down on that so that you do not abuse the situation. And then, if that happens, they might make you pay for it eventually. These people.
Yeah, sorry. I thought I read they were giving a time limit on how long the stuff can be in the locker.
And
I'm
that
not
makes
positive
sense.
of that, but
I didn't see that, but that would make sense so that people would not abuse the system. But
I'll see if I can find that article and I'll bring it up next week.
That's great. Yes, thank you. That is all I have about Tron. So Fantasmic is having different times. They're changing their times. Right now, the times are 8 and 9:30 p.m. Starting March 12th, they're adjusting to 8:30 and 10 p.m. They're probably changing park hours. So stay tuned for that. And then after that, they're going to be changing it a bunch more. So right now, I think from April 2nd to April 22nd, they're only having one showtime, which is at 9:00. So that is definitely subject to change. That's almost 2 months away. So make sure you check the times for Fantasmic when you are going to the park, because it can change. Weather can adjust that. Anything. There are so many different reasons why they would change a time for a show. So if you are going to a park and you are expecting to see Fantasmic, please check the show times because they're definitely not guaranteed. Um, all right, so now I am talking about special discounts for park tickets. If you are a U.S. military member, you can have a 4 and 5 day theme park ticket from now to December 15th, 2023. Those are specially priced. So you can check Disney Experience, my Disney Experience, for more details on that. Florida residents, there's a 40% off 4 day and 30% off 3 day ticket. Um, there is a Florida resident weekday magic deal, and that is 2 days of weekday Disney tickets for 175 plus tax from January 10th to April 27th. And then there are blockout dates for that. And then there's also um, a AAA saving up to, if you're a AAA member, up to $40 off. So up to, and that those are not guaranteed. So you do have to check with your AAA agent. All right, that's all the Disney news I have for today. I do want to say one more piece of news. Um, my family and I have SeaWorld passes. And because my husband and I are both educators, we luckily get our passes for free. If you are a teacher and you have a Florida teaching certificate, you can get a free pass. Caveat on that, though, you do have to pay for parking. So, I mean, and there might be a benefit if you plan on going a certain amount of times. It might be an advantage for you to get an annual pass anyway, because that will pay for your parking. Anyway, SeaWorld is having their Seven Seas Food Festival right now until May 7th. And that's kind of like a Epcot festival. You go around, there are different booths, and they were geared toward different countries, and there are a lot of similar foods actually from like the Food and Wine Festival at Epcot. So that is included in the admission, but not the prices of the food. So you can walk around to each food booth and buy. If you are an annual pass holder, I believe they give you little discounts on those. I did see a friend of mine scan her pass or even just show it at one of the food booths, and they had little passes for it too. So I don't know if that was a separate VIP pass, but anyway, there are different bands that play certain nights. When I was there, REO Speedwagon was there. So it's a cool thing if you are there for a Disney trip and want to check out SeaWorld. It's fun, a lot of fun for the kids. They get to see the different animals. And then there's some shows, and there are a few rides, a lot of roller coasters, but they do have really high height requirements. A lot of them was like 54 inches. But there's a little it's pretty, you have to be pretty tall. But the Sesame Street area is really cute. They have like the 42 inches for their most of their rides. So check out SeaWorld. I mean, it's no Disney, but it is something if you want to check out something else. And it's a little cheaper than Disney and Universal. So that's all I have for today.
Yeah, just pick. SeaWorld is a nice alternative to Disney. You're right; it is not Disney. But I want to tell you something. Last year, the food booths were better than Disney. And when I say better, the prices are about the same
Mm-hmm.
for the food, but the portions are bigger. And boy,
Yes.
are they good!
I
Really
felt
good.
like the prices were a little bit higher. I think 11.50 stood out a lot. I saw a lot of different foods were 11.50, but you were right, the portions are a
Mhm.
lot bigger. And then I felt like the beers were there was more of a variety of beer, and a lot of beer. So there are some booths that were just beer.
Mhm.
So I mean, I thought it was great.
Yeah,
How much is the parking at SeaWorld? Do we know?
It's about $30.
yeah.
And I mean, an annual pass, I believe, is about 230. So you kind of want to figure out if that's worth it for you. But
Mhm. Now,
Okay.
people who do pay for an annual pass can get. They have 3 different tiers, and I think 1 or 2 of the
yes,
tiers does give free parking.
yes.
Um,
And
not
that's
sure
the
which
one you
one.
probably want if you're going to be
Right.
going more than a few times. I mean, $30 to park is a lot,
It
but
is.
if you're not paying to go to the park, that's one thing.
Yeah, not that I want to give Disney any ideas, but I'm surprised they haven't raised their base parking price yet. And we know it's going to get raised. Eventually, they are going to raise it, but I'm really surprised they haven't done it yet.
Mhm.
Darlene, before we get to you, something I do want to mention. You were talking about the discounted tickets there.
Mhm.
Just an analogy. Not a great analogy, but I did want to mention something. Bruce Springsteen announced another 22 or 23 dates that he added to this tour. Some in the Pennsylvania area, some in the Boston area, or I should say Philly area. And the cheapest I saw the tickets going for were $225. So that's the nosebleed section. Now, there may be cheaper tickets, but that's what I saw advertised.
Mhm.
So, putting things into perspective, we complain about Disney's prices going up and up and up. They're not the most expensive out there sometimes.
Nope.
All
Taylor
right.
Swift too.
I think that was the price for the Billy Idol concert coming to the House of Blues was $225.
That's insane. Yeah, it's a small venue, and then you have to pay for dinner and drinks on top of that. Yeah. All right. Well, I know there are a lot of Billy Idol fans that will happily pay it, but I am not one of them.
I know
The-
friends of mine were going to SeaWorld to see Styx.
yes.
I think that was tonight
Oh.
or tomorrow. It's coming up. So,
They've got some good shows coming up there.
Mhm.
pardon?
They've got some good shows coming up
They
there.
do. They do. Okay. So, well, first off, I wanted to say that Friday, February 10th was a surprise to me when I put on YouTube and I seen that Disney Parks had released the Disney Fairy Tale Weddings digital fashion show from the Disneyland Resort. The 2023 Disney Fairy Tale Weddings collection, along with the 2022 and the 2021 collections, will be available at bridal boutiques around the globe. And let me just say, the gowns were stunning. They had everything from a mermaid look to a mermaid with a flowing and a big, huge, poofy Cinderella. They had gowns designed for all of the princesses. It was amazing. It was so nice. You can also catch it now on the Disney Parks blog. They have a link with the YouTube show on there. Now, speaking of the fairy tale weddings, and today being Valentine's Day, I had actually seen a movie and I wasn't sure if this was actually something that was really out there or not. And Stuart had told me, yes, it was before the show. But Disney Fairy Tale Weddings bride, Kristen Robinson, was thrilled to live out a wedding dream in Florida. Her father, her 3 brothers are all colorblind. And they were given glasses. Theirs were sunglasses. And she was able to see her pink in her wedding gown, her husband, his green eyes, and fireworks that she had never seen in color now. So it looked like she had just a smile from ear to ear in every single photo that they showed. And it was nice to see that this was like a dream come true. She could enjoy her wedding like this. That was a big surprise. So hooray and congratulations to the both of them, Kristen and her husband, Nick. Now, my other bit of news is Disney Hollywood Studios. We're very excited for this new restaurant at the Roundup Rodeo Barbecue in Toy Story Land, which is going to be Toy Story themed. The official opening date is March 23rd, 2023. So start looking for your 60-day out date and make a reservation so you can test the food. I think I'm going to make a park reservation and try to get a reservation at the restaurant myself because I love barbecue and I want to go and see this. That's going to be a lot of fun. Another thing is Disney Cruise Line, the Lighthouse Point. This new rendering in our Disney Files magazine shows the concept work for the Lighthouse Point. It's a new destination on the island of, I'm going to try to say it. As Stuart said last week, they make these things very hard, and I listened to it. Eleuthera, featuring a recreation center, dining, shopping, and a water playground. It's a culture pavilion and more. Disney has committed to developing less than 20% of the property, supplying 90% of the site's power from solar energy, and employ sustainable building practices and donate more than 190 acres of the privately owned land to the government. Here's a picture of the concept art. If you're watching us on YouTube, it's beautiful.
If not, well, sorry.
I know. You'll have to watch us on YouTube. Next up, the Disney Treasure, the sixth ship in the Disney Cruise Line fleet. The Disney Treasure is scheduled for delivery in 2024, inspired by Walt Disney's love of exploration and paving the way of epic experiences that'll immerse guests in some of the company's most legendary stories. The ship will feature a grand hull influenced by design styles from Asia and Africa, which this is going to be totally different from what the other ships are, with nods to the fictional land of Agrabah, including a shining, shimmering, splendid statue of Aladdin, Jasmine, and the magic carpet. So I guess we're going to have to try to get on the Wish and the Treasure, and I still have to get on the Fantasy. So
That's so exciting.
I know. That's all my news for today.
All right. Thank you, Darlene. Before I get into my news, I do want to mention Mouse Fan Travel. If you're looking to go to Walt Disney World or take a Disneyland trip, maybe a Disney cruise. We'll be talking about cruising a lot tonight. A Disney cruise, even a non-Disney cruise, or an adventure by Disney, or any type of vacation, Mouse Fan Travel has you covered. They've got great deals going on right now. And if you go to their website, you can see what great deals they've got going on. You can contact them. You can work with the travel planner no matter which one it is. You are in great hands when it comes to Mouse Fan Travel because they are absolutely the most educated, nicest, and best when it comes to travel planning. So go to www.mousefantravel.com. That is www.mousefantravel.com. All right. Last week, Disney CEO Bob Iger, speaking at the Walt Disney Company's first quarter earnings call for 2023, discussed the restructuring, reducing debt, layoffs, and streaming. In order to reduce its spending costs, Disney is expected to reduce its global workforce by 7,000 employees. That translates to 3.2% of its workforce. The restructuring essentially divides the company into three divisions: Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products, which will be headed by Josh D'Amaro; Disney Entertainment, headed by Dana Walden and Alan Bergman; and ESPN, headed by Jimmy Pitaro. The restructuring rids the company of Disney Media Entertainment Distribution, also known as DMED, that was created by, dare I say, former CEO Bob Chapek. Good news for Disney movie animation fans. Disney has announced a Frozen 3 movie. While not much is known about the third installment, Josh Gad confirmed on Twitter that he will return to voice Olaf. Also, a fifth Toy Story movie is expected, along with a Zootopia sequel. A new Marvel character is coming to Disney's California Adventure, but for a limited time. Moon Girl, described as the smartest character in the Marvel Universe, will be there for a little bit of a run. All right, we extend our congratulations to Josh D'Amaro, Disney Parks Experiences and Products Chairman, who was named to Make-A-Wish America's National Board of Directors. And finally, a little bit of sad news. Dave Hollis, Disney's former president of worldwide distribution from 2011 to 2018, was recently hospitalized for heart-related issues and has passed away, but at this time there was no cause of death disclosed. Dave Hollis was 47. All right, Darlene, park hours.
Before I do that, if you're looking to move to Florida, please contact Victor Naraki at disney@yourdoorstep.com. Park hours will be Magic Kingdom Wednesday, February 15th from 9 to 11 p.m., Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m., with a special ticket event from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 9 to 11. Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. And Tuesday will be an extended evening hours for guests staying at deluxe resorts. So we've got 9 to 11 and then 11 to 1 a.m. Epcot will be Wednesday through Sunday, 9 to 9 p.m., with Monday having extended hours for those deluxe from 9 to 9 and 9 to 11 p.m. Tuesday will be 9 to 9. Now, Disney Hollywood Studios tomorrow will have a special ticket event. So we're going to be open from 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and then 9 to 12:30 a.m. for the special ticket. Then we have 8:30 to 9:30, and then we have Friday 8:30 to 9, and Saturday 8:30 to 9, Wednesday 8:30 to 9, and starting next week, Monday, February 20th, will be 8:30 to 9:30, and Tuesday. Animal Kingdom will be tomorrow 9 to 7 p.m., then Thursday 8 to 7 p.m., Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday 8 to 8 p.m. We have Blizzard Beach is now reopened. It was closed yesterday because of inclement weather, but now it's reopened again starting today, and it was 10 to 5 and it's going to be 10 to 5. Just keep note, if the temperatures drop again, which it's bound to happen, they might close the water park. Boardwalk is going to be open 6:30 to 10 the full week, and Disney Springs, of course, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 to 11 p.m., Friday, Saturday, 10 to 11:30, and Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, 10 to 11.
All right. Thank you, Darlene. And the weather forecast for the upcoming 7 days at Walt Disney World. We'll have highs in the 80s except for Saturday, which will see a high of about 70. The nighttime lows will range from the mid-50s to the mid-60s. One final note here on this day in Disney history. It was on February 14th, 1986, that Disney's DTV Valentine airs on the NBC network. The show was hosted by Jiminy Cricket, Ludwig von Drake, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Chip and Dale. The show also featured music from Whitney Houston, Madonna, Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie, Elton John, Elvis Presley, and Huey Lewis, and the news. And that wraps up the news segment of this show. And we're going to bye, Jess. Thank you for coming tonight. Have a great week, Jess. Don't anybody else go anywhere. We're going to let John and Kurt in.
Yes.
And we are now going to do our weekly show. Normally we do our weekly show later in the week, but due to a scheduling conflict, not scheduling really, I'm traveling. We are doing the show tonight. So we're going to talk about, hi, John. John Maloney has joined us now. And
Hi, Kurt. Hi, John.
Hello. Kurt's the one. If you're watching us on YouTube, that's in black and white. It looks like almost.
I know.
Am I really?
Yeah.
Need some light on your face, buddy.
It's the lighting in there.
I turned the light off.
There you go.
There you go.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Disney Plus, and then we'll get into the places that we like to be in the park. You know, our favorite hangout spots. And but I wanted to bring up Disney Plus because it's not just Disney. Peacock is having some issues with getting subscribers. Disney Plus lost, I think it was 2.6 million, if I remember right.
That was the logical reason, though.
Of course, because the pandemic, everybody was home.
Not only that, when they initially did that for D23, we got an incredible deal signing up for 3 years.
Yep.
The deal's up. And we went from paying like $3.99 to now it's $7.99. A lot of people just apparently didn't watch it enough.
And if you're bundled, as I am, and you get your bill and you times it by 12, it's about $200 for the year.
Yeah, well, yeah. Also, if you are a Hulu Live member, I think you get it for free, Disney Plus. Not positive of that because I'm not a Hulu Live member, subscriber.
I should have been a Hulu Live.
Yeah, but they're trying to build up their subscription service again. And, I just wanted to discuss things that you think might be a good way for them to build that up. I think one, is adding different content. And my suggestion would be get rid of Hulu on demand, move that over to Disney Plus.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they have two different Hulus. There's Hulu, which is a demand service. It's not live. Right. It's not live. And they have all this programming on there. A lot of it is network shows from ABC and other networks. I think
they've got some original programming on there.
There is.
Right.
And they should probably, I would think they should move that over to Disney Plus and just get rid of Hulu on demand. But we don't know what's happening with Hulu because Disney, which has a majority stake in Hulu, could keep it, could buy out the rest of it, or they could sell it. Yes, darling.
With the stuff that they have on Hulu, though, you definitely would need to have child settings set.
You do now with Disney Plus.
They have it now also, but you really got to make sure
you really have to watch
because
I don't think they would do that.
Stuff that's on Disney Plus might be rated R for language.
Well, hold on a second, darling.
I don't know if any movies on Disney Plus that have like
now
a lot of nudity.
Darling, what's your reason for saying you don't think they would do that?
Because of the fact that they have a lot of adult shows on Hulu that have been
that was the purpose of Hulu.
But
pardon?
That was the purpose for Hulu being Hulu and Disney being Disney.
But then it would be up to the parents to be responsible parents and set the parental controls.
But when you go back in time, remember like Touchstone Films and studios like that, they were owned by Disney, but it was if there was any adult type movie, it was made by Touchstone or I forgot the other company. It wasn't made by
Hollywood.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying they should do that. I'm just saying that's a suggestion for something they could do to entice people to come to Disney Plus and subscribe to Disney Plus. They've got to expand not just their original program. They've got to bring other things to it. If you look at Peacock, which granted they're having troubles too because they have their free service is going away. You can no longer subscribe to Peacock for free. If you had already, they grandfathered you in, but now you have to pay for it. It could be either their cheaper tier or their more expensive tier, but you've got to pay for it one way or the other. Disney went to an ad and an ad-free Disney Plus. But what Peacock has is the WWE network. They also have the Big Ten, and I think they're negotiating for another football package that they're going to put on there. Disney Plus needs to do, I'm not saying football or sports, but they need to do something that brings different content to the streaming service in addition to original shows to get people there that may not necessarily that are Disney fans, but may not or even not Disney fans, but wouldn't necessarily subscribe to Disney Plus the way it is now.
That's why they have the triple pack, because that's why they have ESPN Plus attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not part of it, and that costs extra. What they need to do something that doesn't get subscribes to Disney Plus. That you'll have people that'll just want ESPN Plus and people that want Disney Plus, but not combined into one.
We have the triple pack.
Yeah, Kurt, I know
So
you.
But if you want Disney entertainment, you're going to go to Disney Plus. If you want adult themed entertainment, but Stuart, people are going to Disney Plus for Disney entertainment. They're not going to Disney Plus for Hulu entertainment.
What I'm trying to say is they need to expand what they're doing to get more subscribers. They're not going to. It's not going to happen the way it is right now. John, you haven't said a thing. I'd like to hear your opinion.
You've all had a lot to say. Well, I have one thing to say about combining them, and I agree it's an approach. I'm not. So how are you thinking that gets more income for Disney, or are more members, more what?
More subscribers to Disney Plus.
Well, they're already kind of counting them together as it is.
Yeah, but and Kurt, maybe sports was a bad example because I'm not saying they should bring sports to Disney Plus. They had an Elton John concert on.
Mm-hmm.
If they have more concerts on, it's like a one-night event. Yes, they'll repeat it a million times, but for people who otherwise couldn't get to a concert venue, here's another opportunity. You could see it on Disney Plus.
They're doing that now. It wasn't just Elton John. It was several musicians.
They had Taylor Swift.
They had Taylor Swift, and they did.
It's not enough. It's just not a concert,
but musical.
They need to do more of these things.
But I think that's the thing that Disney is struggling with is how do they get the right return? They are investing a ton of money into content, and I think that's part of the reason why they had a shortfall of $1.5 billion. Is they had to get the service up and running, they had to invest a ton into the content, and I think the other streaming services are seeing similar things. People are certainly starving for content.
Yeah.
But to get that right balance for what the content costs and what they get from subscriptions is what they haven't worked out yet.
Right. They've been talking about doing like an Amazon, not Amazon, but an Amazon type of service to go along with Disney Plus. So with Amazon, you have Amazon Prime, which gives you access to their programs, and they've got a lot of original. So they've been talking about doing something like that. I think that would help also get subscribed.
So you're packaging non-media benefits with the media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I think they just started doing Disney Plus shopping and Hulu shopping, where you get some sort of kickback and discounts. I know they're bringing out, I seen today that they're bringing out the new movie from 20th or what was it, 20th Century or something?
20th Century
Rosaline. That's a new movie coming out. Mm-hmm. And they had released the Marvel Wakanda Forever, which was brand new. Mickey and Me is coming out. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to release new stuff.
Well, right. They are, but here's the problem. They're not releasing enough.
Well, they can't release everything all at once, though. No, they just released that National Treasure series.
Right.
That was a great show.
It was absolutely great.
So you had that. They also just released Bad Batch. There was similar around at the time with that. I'm trying to remember what the other one was. Now I got to open the app. There were three or four of them where I started watching them, and they were good. They've got to spread them out. They can't do them all at once. Like John said, that $1.5 billion boom, because they had to get everything out just so that there was content there. Now they got to spread that out. I know we've got Mandalorian coming up.
Yep. Coming out soon.
That Ahsoka Tano show is going to be coming up soon.
A lot of Star Wars, Marvel.
But Kurt, you're making my point. they can't bring it all out at once, but there's not enough to bring people in because they have to spread out, and there's costs involved for all this. It's very expensive to produce these shows. So, they've got to come up with other ways to keep people engaged.
You can watch Forged in Fire on Disney Plus.
What is it?
Forged in Fire. How to create it? It was a show where they make swords. It was a great show. It was on the History Channel. I just opened it up on the Disney app, the Disney Plus app. So there is content out there. I love that. If I know that was on there, I would have been watching that earlier. There is a ton of content here. You just have to look for it. I mean, there is so much content here.
Something else they can do is they have concerts and they have special guests at the parks all the time. Want to create a talk show that they could put on with interviews with these guests while they're at the parks. Yes, you have to take some of these guests because they have a busy schedule too. They have to dedicate some time to Disney, but you could put that on. People traveling to Disney, people that are fans of these people would be interested in something like that.
I do think that more Disney parks content would go a long way to drawing Disney fans in. Maybe Disney fans that aren't watching Disney Plus yet.
Yep.
What about taking a night when they have the food and wine, they have the America Amphitheater, and record those concerts?
Well, there's rights.
That's going to be extra money there.
There's costs. There's rights that they have to pay for that.
Yeah, there are.
All the licensing rights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that could be as much as producing a series.
Yeah.
But it can be done. They've done things like that before, far and few between, if you ask me, but they've done them.
Yeah. Would you, how often do you think you would watch something like that, Darlene? I mean, I like the idea, but just to get a sense of how much of an impact it would have.
Well, I've thrown on the Elton John concert,
Yeah.
and I know I've watched the Taylor Swift. I mean, when I'm doing cleaning and stuff, I like to have something playing in the background, and not just like a movie that I've seen, or especially something like Wakanda Forever. I had to sit there and watch it,
I still have to watch that.
Why not create a game? Now, I have no idea what kind of game show, but why not create a game show that involves parents and kids that actually takes place in one of the parks, Disney Hollywood Studios, and air it on Disney Plus. And it would be it doesn't have to be a daily thing. It could be a weekly game show. But that, if you're going to the parks, you participate in it, your friends, family, that could get people there. If it's a good game show, you might get a following and it might build up interest. And you're promoting the parks at the same time you're promoting Disney Plus.
Well, I would love to see a show like, remember Inside Out? Not the movie Inside Out, the show Inside Out that was about going around at Disney.
Yeah.
Why not bring something like that back? Darlene talked about going to the Food and Wine Festival. We don't need to see the video, or we don't need to see the people in the Garden Theater performing. Let's walk around and let's do some taste.
Right.
Show us what it looks like.
Hey, you know what?
Production.
Bring Stacy back.
Stacy's available.
Yep, bring her back. She could do the show.
I know I was looking at something, and they brought on, like, remember Food Network had those special shows and stuff. I think it was called Disney Foodtastic or something. That was a small season, but it's only one season and it's a very small thing. They should do more of those shows too. They could add another season or two and pick different movies than what they did before.
If you have not just one dedicated show, but a small number of dedicated shows to food, cooking, it could be, with kids, not always adults. There's a big following for these food shows. If you're a Disney fan and you've got these food shows on Disney Plus, guess what? That could get people subscribing that might not otherwise subscribe.
I do think that there's a lot that they can do for the cross promotion, like you say. especially between the parks and the Disney IP. So whether it's a game show or a cooking show or even advertisements. So it's something like Stacy or following what's going on at one of the festivals. That's almost commercials, but it's something that Disney fans would watch.
Right. And, if you're planning a trip to come to Walt Disney World, it doesn't matter if it's your first or fifth, and you see these shows are coming on Disney Plus, you know what? You're going to have an interest in watching them because it might help you prepare. Actually, it will help you prepare for your vacation.
Right. Having some kind of serial that helps fans or helps guests prepare for their trips by showing the different resorts and taking you around and seeing the different programs they have and the food, showing the different shopping, and maybe drilling into it a bit more, but it helps plan at the same time it's advertising.
And
show the rooms.
Sure.
Tour the rooms.
DVC. Have a DVC program.
Absolutely. Go through the hotel,
that'd be great.
Even the value resorts. I mean, looking at the prices of the resorts, and they're like, God, I used to pay $69 for that room 10 years ago. Show that same room now. It's not the same room anymore. They've done major makeovers for that room. Show that. Show people how much it's changed.
Yeah, absolutely. They could do that. I had a thought. I lost the thought, but but it was along the lines with getting more people involved or getting more people to subscribe by being more involved in what's going on in the parks. And the parks are constantly evolving, so
that's why they're afraid to do
the shows that promote the parks are going to constantly change. They're not going to get stale.
Maybe something about the Galactic Star Cruiser. Sorry.
But I mean, that's why we don't see Stacy on the show anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff that she used to talk about either isn't there or it's completely changed.
You know what Disney could do too? I'm not saying do what QVC and Home Shopping Network do, but they could have a show every now and then. Hey, we're promoting these products. We've got a special on these. Here they are. Watch this show. So, you could buy right from, you watch it on TV. Wow, I like that product. I'm going to buy it. Darlene would watch that. I don't know if I would, but Darlene would.
I mean, I pulled up the app really quick, and they did expand a lot of stuff. They have Disney Junior episodes, they have Simpson episodes, they have Disney Channel episodes. They have a bunch of new shorts, animated movies. They've added like more Winnie the Pooh. And then they have features and stuff. So what you really need to do, and it's hard to tell people to do this, but don't just look at that front page, the home screen.
Right. You got
to go through every button. Like they had a bunch of Valentine's Day stuff. I didn't even know this was here. I'm not sure when it populated, but I'm like, oh, this is all great because it's like different movies and shows and stuff.
Yeah, the Valentine's Day collection.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying they should do a live channel, but you have Freevee, which is owned by Amazon. You have Pluto, which is getting very popular. By the way, I do want to mention, do you know, and I don't know what the time span is, but 50%, it might have been last year, but I remember hearing recently that 50% of Americans cut the cord from cable or drop cable within a certain time period. I think it might have been last year. I'm not positive of that. I don't want to, but I did hear something along that line. But they could add a channel where you have dedicated programs on a channel. So if you're looking for something, you could see, okay, here's the Star Wars channel. What's on now? Give us a directory. And I'm not talking about a live channel. I'm just saying, we can go through the programs. Right now, you have to navigate through things. It's not the easiest thing to navigate because most people are looking at what's in front of them. But if you have a guide, it could do what it says, guide you through the shows.
Well, it would be nice as if they could like I'm looking back on what are some of the things that I used to watch behind the attractions.
Mhm.
Hey,
Yeah.
bring in a season 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, they hit the big ones. They had the Jungle Cruise, they had a Haunted Mansion, Star Tours, Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Well, keep going. Go on to some of these new attractions now.
Yeah, well, I agree. I think they're looking at it. They have brought on a second season of Animal Kingdom.
They had that was just released.
Yeah, they certainly have the production costs of putting these things
Right.
together, and we've said they've got to come up with a balance. But I think we agree that this is an area of focus.
Yep.
They could use is leveraging the parks and leveraging the cross.
Oh yeah, and you know what?
Between them,
They might trip over their feet along the way because they might have to do trial and error. Let's see if this works. If it doesn't, you get rid of it. You move on. But isn't that what network television has done over the years? They try things. If it works, they beat it to death. And they like right now, reality shows are still like the popular thing out there. And when that starts to fade away and die down, they'll come up with something else.
I found their problem. They actually still have the black hole on here.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to watch that again.
I tried. I honestly tried. I think I made it about 30 minutes and I couldn't.
You know, something, and I don't think they'll do this because the production costs are just far too great, but Peacock has done this. They've moved, I don't know if it's both or one of their soap operas to Peacock only. Well,
it's Days of Our Lives is on Peacock, yes.
And only Peacock.
I've watched it.
Well, how many fans are there of All My Children or One Life to Live? Why not start it up again and start it on Disney Plus only?
I thought All My Children was a web show. Do they cancel that out right now altogether? I've no idea. I'm asking because I remember when it left network TV, it was going.
You had to pay for this. You had to pay to watch. It wasn't like you could just go on. It was like per episode or something. I just couldn't see doing it. I mean, I loved All My Children. I loved One Life to Live. Another World. Trust me.
Another World was another network.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're saying, but you're just
I know.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus, you can catch Young and the Restless, and that. Hulu, you can catch General Hospital, but of course that's not live. You watch it, like later in the day.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, just for people who are fans of soaps or All My Children, there's been talks for over a year now of them bringing it back as a primetime weekly show called Pine Valley. And I think that's being headed by Kelly Ripa and her husband, Mark Consuelo.
Mm-hmm.
So
both were on.
I don't know what's going on with that. I know that's been in the works for over a year. We'll see if it ever happens. But that's something they could put on Disney Plus too, if it's not greenlit for the network.
Again, you were talking about Peacock. Peacock also, some of their sports, they have a lot of soccer. They also have, there are some IndyCar races that are only available there. So there's motorsports that are available there. Now, what do you want to do? You want to put that, there's that F1 show? F1, well, I don't know, F1, I guess.
Yeah, Kurt, I'm sorry I brought up sports because I don't think sports fits with Disney Plus. It was just an example of what Peacock was doing to get subscribers.
Well, again, but if you have exclusive, the only place I could watch an IndyCar race is on that, I might go to it. So if the only place where I could go and watch X Sport, I mean, if we're not going to put it on ESPN Plus, I guess have a link through this, getting you over there or something.
Now, if Disney happened to buy the WWE wrestling promotion, that could fit with either ESPN Plus or Disney Plus because it's
fictional
wrestling.
It's
I did
scripted.
Yes,
it's very scripted. Yeah, it's not unscripted. It's scripted.
It's a soap opera for a different group of people, and I'm a huge wrestling fan.
It's more scripted than Survivor.
Yeah, but don't ever say to a wrestler, "Is it fake?" Because they'll show you how real it can be.
I know 2 professional wrestlers. Literally, one of which was in the WWE, and yeah, he'll show you some of his scars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
he's
get
fine.
hurt. You know what? Some of them, I want to go into, but there's been serious injuries.
Yeah.
And fatalities. I'm a big fan of AEW, which is All Elite Wrestling. I also like WWE, but I'm a bigger fan of All Elite Wrestling. And it's a very different kind of wrestling. Not that we're talking about wrestling here, but
you were just talking about Kurt talking about
well,
indie.
no, but I meant, but it's in a different context. But if you're looking for something that's not PG, AEW is the place to go to watch.
And you're not finding that on Disney Plus.
No, you'll never find that on Disney Plus. It's I don't know what the answer is. I don't think there's any one answer. I think they've got to try things out. I think they've got to just sometimes you have to throw things up on the wall and see what sticks. Marvel's going to be a big winner for them there. Star Wars is a big winner for them there. But how about Disney Animation? Come up with things that aren't on the Disney Channel that they could put on there that could get younger crowds and maybe even.
Well, they have. I'd like to see them increase it. So they've had.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
They've had Monsters Inc. They've had Doug from Up. They've had Baymax from Big Hero 6, and they have a lot of Marvel animation. But when you get to some of those more mainstream things like more Pixar, Zootopia. Well, Zootopia, they've had some things. So I think they've got a start, but I would personally like to see some of that increase. And
and that's
stories, maybe some longer stories even.
Mm-hmm. Now, they don't want to take away from what they want to release to the theaters either.
No. It's a balance, absolutely.
Right.
No, there are so many on-demand shows. I just flipped through New to Disney Plus, Storage Wars, Ice Road Truckers.
Wait, whoa, hold on a second. That's on Disney Plus? Then?
Yes, I'm looking at it right here. New to Disney Plus.
Right. That's another problem then. They need to market that better so people know.
I wouldn't have known if we were doing this right now because I hadn't scrolled down to it. Celebrity house hunting. Whatever.
Where are you finding that?
Well, this stuff is coming.
You gotta scroll.
There's stuff from Fox and Nat Geo.
History Channel.
So
Mysteries of blah 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 blah.
So that's stuff you can find on Hulu too.
Yeah.
They have to mark. You know what? Then I'm sorry. They have to mark.
Ghost Hunters.
They've got to do a better job marketing what's on there outside of the Disney bubble.
So yeah, I am surprised by how much I'm seeing that's on here. I never knew was on.
And you know what? This is why they need a guide. Like Pluto has a guide where they have a Star Wars. They don't have Star Wars, but they'll have like I don't know. They break it into categories where they might have like home improvement shows, and you might have what was the one with Bob Vila? Oh, This Old House. So they'll have a channel for This Old House. That's what Disney needs to do. They need to have a guide with a channel listing, breaking it down by genre and by programs that they dedicate a channel to, so you can find something that maybe it's playing now, or that you could do on demand, start it from the beginning, but scroll through where you could see what's there.
There's too much. I don't know how you can put a simple navigation for all of that content.
Pluto's very successful.
You have to search
a
little bit.
Right.
Yes. Nobody's saying you don't have to search a little bit. Pluto's got, I think it's over 500 channels now, maybe more. And you have to go through it. But if it's there and you have a guide to go through, it makes it easier than what Kurt's doing right now.
But if you've got 500 channels, you still have to.
Yes, John, yes, you do.
Yeah.
But you could break it down by category too and find the channel. Let's say Darlene's looking for a romance show or movies.
Yeah.
You go to the guide, you click on romance, and boom, there's the channels in romance.
You got Billie Eilish, you got Howard Ashman, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, the Beatles, Elton John. They got a lot of musical stuff on here too.
They do.
Yeah, and you know what? There is a lot of stuff there, but I think from what we're saying here and from what we're discovering, it sounds like it's not so easy to find, or
You have to
don't
dig.
know, or people don't know to look for it.
Right.
Right.
All they have across the top are the big five: Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic.
And
They don't have
that's the
genres.
issue. That's the issue right there, is that
Mm-hmm.
their platform still only has that top bracket.
Yeah.
Time for an update.
But if you go
Spend more money.
and similar to other streamers on their main page, if you scroll down, there are lots of different categories that call some of it out. I'm sure that there's some that doesn't have the good indications, but if you scroll down through there, they have things that change, for the season.
Yep.
They've got lots of different categories. They, things that they think you would like based on what you've watched. So you can, just like you can on Netflix or on Amazon Prime, you can scroll down and they've got a lot of other groupings of content.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled with Amazon Prime how they have theirs set up either, to be quite honest with you. I think Pluto does a great job. I think Peacock does a great job with how they have things set up. Nothing's perfect, but I think Disney, I'm sorry, but I think Disney would be extremely helpful to their lazy subscribers like me and others who may not necessarily go through everything to find what they're looking for, by having a guide that points you more easily in the right direction to find things maybe you didn't know were there, like Ice Truckers or Storage Wars. I didn't know that was on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I didn't know that was on Disney Plus either. I had no clue.
I don't know if all of them are, or if
It's
I
probably
didn't
certain
click on it. I don't
seasons.
know how many seasons are on there.
Right, it's probably.
But I
certain
know
seasons.
some of the stuff is on Hulu as well. So I
Yes.
think they're like pulling you, hey, look, this is what's on Hulu. Come on
That
over
could
and
be.
look at it.
That could very well be. But I think that would be a step in the right direction, in addition to everything else we've spoken about. And I'm sure these are things they've brought up in meetings and have discussed, and we'll see. I don't know if they're going to keep ESPN. I don't know that they're not going to keep ESPN. I could say the same thing about ABC. I think they're going to be taking a long, hard look at their divisions and see what's going to be profitable. And
Well, I mean, that's branching out a little bit from Disney Plus. Certainly, they have. So the fact that Disney Plus lost $1.5 billion doesn't tell me that they need to go change something with their other divisions. They certainly
no, that's not what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say here is they might get rid of divisions that aren't or parts of divisions that aren't profitable to the company to help their bottom line get further into the black.
Well, I personally think they need to right the Disney Plus ship to get rid of that $1.5 billion deficit from Disney Plus.
Yes.
If Disney Plus is not, they have so much money in Disney Plus, it has to be profitable.
Yep.
In and of itself.
Well, that's where the future is, because if people are cutting the cord, where are they going? They're going to streaming services, but not everybody can afford to have every streaming service.
Well, no, yeah. So the streaming services themselves, we've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
The market is not going to be able to support the number of splintered streaming services, and I mean the fact that there's new ones coming on these days blows my mind. What's the new MGM Plus?
Yeah, I know.
And there was
MGM Plus.
Yes,
which is owned by Amazon.
Yes.
Really?
Amazon bought MGM, and they're coming out with MGM. Yeah.
Yeah. So
why wouldn't they just put?
We don't know if it's going to be part of Amazon Prime yet or not. I don't believe it will be, but
so yeah, there's going to be consolidation. We went from having all of these individual channels to having cable packages to splitting out to having streaming services to having too many streaming services, and there's probably going to be some consolidation there in the future.
But in the future, before we get to the consolidation services, look what's going on with sports now. In New York, for people who live in the tri-state area, the Yes Network, which has the Yankee games and net basketball games, they're going to start their own streaming service soon. for the games because they haven't been able to negotiate a
network
agree to a deal with the local cable, with one or two of the local cable networks. MSG, Madison Square Garden, which has the Knicks, Rangers, I think they have the Devils on there, the Islanders. I'm not sure who else. They're going to start theirs probably in the fall. So it's giving fans in the markets another outlet to see these games that otherwise wouldn't get it through cable. And you know what? If they decide they want to charge a lot of money for it, fans of those sports teams will pay it.
And that's where I get frustrated with our cable. Like we have the Marquee Network.
Oh, Kurt, you froze.
Did I freeze? Am I still frozen?
Good to me.
We have the Marquee Network. I never watched the Marquee Network. Why do I have to pay $5 for it?
And I think that
would be the Yankee Network or the Yes Network. Why do I have to pay for it? And they're like, it's part of your sports package. Okay, I watch NASCAR. I don't watch this other channel. Why can't we split those up so it's not as bad? You know, instead of paying this huge amount, I won't cut the cable if you let me pay what I want to pay and watch what I want to watch.
Keith and I had said that many years ago. We would have all these stations that, you know, they gave us a package where it was A, B, C. And C was the most expensive. You got everything. Keith wasn't a very big sports fan. We didn't need all those sports stations, but we had to pay for them just to get the other channels that you wanted.
Yeah, they link them in. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm a big sports fan, and the MLB Network was on YouTube TV. It's not anymore. They just pulled it off. I got to see a lot of Yankee games on the MLB Network, enough to satisfy me being out of the market because I no longer live, you know, where the Yankees play. That bothers me. They have the NBA Network, which I get to see a few Knicks games here and there, along with TBS and TNT. But YouTube TV is becoming less attractive to me because they're losing their sports. So I've got to find other ways to watch the sports, whether it's to sign up for the out-of-market package for the Yankees and the other teams. And
now,
you know what? That's going to get me away from a streaming service with live TV like that at some point in the future.
Now, Keith had said he had heard something about YouTube TV is getting the NFL package.
Yes, they are. That's official. And I think they just announced the pricing. I think it's going to be less than what DirecTV was charging, and they're going to do little different things with it. That just came out like within the last day or so.
Oh, okay.
Not that the pricing, I should say, just came out within the last day or so.
Okay.
As long as it's an add-on and they don't put it into my
right. That's that's an add-on, and you can also subscribe to it through regular YouTube. You don't have to be a YouTube TV subscriber. You know, these streaming services, you know, cable has a lot of restrictions. Well, so do these streaming services. And you know, Disney years ago bet that they bet where the market is going with streaming services, that you're going to have different interests for different people with different things. And that's where we're headed. You know, you look at Peacock, you look at Paramount, you look at Disney Plus, and all these others. And you're right. At some point, there will be some what's the word?
Consolidation.
Consolidation or constriction.
Well, there's going to be some attrition. That's for sure.
You know, they're not going to all stay there. Like MGM Plus, does that really have a market that's going to sustain it? I don't know.
You know, it's interesting because through our cable company, if I was in Michigan, I could watch a NASCAR race on an app on my phone through like the live TV app. However, I can't watch a football game because you're restricted to certain areas. So if I was in Michigan, I couldn't watch any game.
You know, now you
would
see
say you're in the wrong area.
Right. Now you see Facebook and Twitter having sports events too.
And they're doing the same. Yeah, you're kind of restricted as to where you can watch it.
Yeah. You know, eventually you're going to have these very defined streaming services for people like you, Kurt, who want to just watch, you know.
So I can't go to, like, if I'm in Florida and like here, I'm an Xfinity customer. I'm signed into my Xfinity account. Why can't I watch it while I'm on vacation?
Well, don't they have a Go channel for it? They don't.
Yeah, and it won't let you watch it. It says unable to, because you're restricted in certain areas of
That's
wherever the United States
Yeah.
are that you're in. It's
Yeah.
like, well, it's the national TV show. Why can't I watch it? They're like, no, sorry. You cannot watch it because you are not in your home state or whatever it is.
Right.
Which
That
just
is an issue. Yes.
so
Yeah.
little things like that happen. Hey, we're really getting off task with the Disney Plus. Do we want to
are.
go to Disney World now?
We are, and I think we've kind of covered what we could cover with Disney Plus. Just one final question to everybody to give their answer on this. Where do you think Disney Plus will be 3 to 5 years from now?
It's too early to tell. I mean, we just found out they're starting to put stuff on there that we didn't even know were on there.
Yeah, good point.
Well,
So
I think it'll be profitable.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, it's too big for Disney to have it not be profitable.
You know what? I think 3 to. Oh, go ahead, Darlene.
I think what they're going to do is, I think, to entice everybody to stay that's there, I think they're going to probably, I don't think anything could be done right now. I think it'll be on a renewal basis, and they're going to probably try to drop the rate or not raise the rate.
Mm-hmm. You know,
we said that with tickets to Disney World too, so let's not go there.
Well, I just have a feeling that there was an upset with that. It wasn't supposed to be as high as it was.
Yep. I think you're all right with what you said. I think 3 to 5 years, Disney will have a chance not to figure everything out, but to be in a better place. I think what they decide to do with Hulu Live and Hulu will affect what goes on with Disney Plus positively, whatever that decision is. I think they'll make a smart business decision with that end of it, which will somehow help Disney Plus keep growing. I don't think they know the answer to that yet. I think they're still trying to figure it out. I think 3 to 5 years, they will figure out, not everything, but enough of it to get to a happier place. And I think Darlene's right too. I think they will, if not cut the rates, I think they'll level it off, because a lot of people, I called up because I had an issue when I went to renew my subscription, and the person that I was on the other end with, the customer service rep there, told me they were inundated with people canceling Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Because of how much it went up.
Yeah. And I had to wait almost an hour for them to figure out my problem, because I was in line while all these other people were canceling.
And you can cancel online. It's rather simple to just cut it.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's go to Disney World. What makes us happy? Where do we like to be in Disney World?
We just spent 45 minutes.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a 10-minute conversation. That's all right. I hope we entertained our listeners and viewers. I'm begging, please. We need your help. Subscribe to the show.
Yeah, we're going to be.
They already fell asleep.
We're going to be $1.5 over.
No money.
$1.5.
No money. Just subscribe to us on YouTube, please, at the WDW Fan Zone Show. Like and share it, please. It helps us out, get recognized and better known to other Disney fans out there. And on Apple Podcasts, same thing. Please like and share and subscribe to it. It would help us out tremendously if you could, please. I'm begging, please. All right. Our happy place or places at Walt Disney World. What's everyone's number one go-to place where they love to be more than any place else?
Is this somewhere to just go and relax, or?
Yeah, I thought we were talking about the places to relax or lounge out.
It could
That's
be.
what you said. Yeah.
Oh, is that what I said in the show? I don't remember.
Yeah. I mean, my happy place is the Magic Kingdom. There.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Okay, places where you like to relax. That's fine. I don't even know what I said.
Well, before we even get to a park, when I wake up in the morning, my wife and I do the same thing. We wake up, take a shower. It's time for breakfast. We usually have something that's a grab and go, whether it's a donut or a protein bar or something like that, and a drink in the morning while we're sitting on our balcony. So if you're at like the Wilderness Lodge, you have a beautiful view of the lake. Bay Lake Tower, the same thing. With our view, if you've got, depending on your view, we tend to be able to see part of the Magic Kingdom, so you can see it start to wake up. They're cleaning things and walking around. Here comes the train, stuff like that. That's our happy place in the morning. And then it's nice to just sit there on the balcony at night. Darlene might have a nice little drink out there and watch the animals when they're winding down, or if you're at Animal Kingdom Lodge or something like that. So
yeah, a DVC 1 bedroom or better, but a 1 bedroom, and the variety of patios or balconies that they have. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the balconies at the DVCs are, we've used them quite a few times. Like Kurt said, we would bring, we would get breakfast foods. And, they normally have a toaster and a coffee maker. So we would make coffee and stuff and sit on the balcony and eat. If we were at the boardwalk, a lot of times we would go to the boardwalk bakery. I'd get my mug and I'd get breakfast, take it back to the room and eat. I've done a few visits with my sister from another mother, which is Stuart's lovely wife, Michelle. And we've done wine and cheese and stuff and sat on the balcony and just watched, the water and stuff at the resorts. It's a lot of fun to do stuff like that. And I do love the balconies. Now, if you don't have a balcony, find a bench and just sit and watch your the water. My husband Keith and I would go out sometimes when we stayed at the inn and we didn't have a balcony. We would go out to the water and just sit on the benches on the boardwalk and just watch the water go by and watch the boats and stuff and people, and just the activity and stuff of things going on is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Before I moved down here, one of my favorite hangout spots was by the pool at the Port Orleans French Quarter. Very relaxing, very calm. But since moving down here, and I'm sure there were a lot of pools where people love to hang out in different resorts for different reasons or same reason. But when I'm down here and in the parks, one of my favorite places is at night in Disney's Hollywood Studios, just walking around and just taking everything in. It is, it's not the same as the Magic Kingdom. It's different from Epcot, but at night, Disney's Hollywood Studios is in its glory at night. It is a beautiful park at night, maybe the most beautiful of the. I'm not including Animal Kingdom here because it's not really open that late at night, or long enough at night. But I love Disney Hollywood Studios at night, just walking around and just taking everything in. And I did look at the show notes to say our hangout spots. So,
a lot of my favorite hangout spots are places that I can sit down and relax. Yeah. And so a number of them are, or at least in the different parks, are usually a counter service restaurant where I can sit down, get a snack, get a drink, relax. But one of them that I'm going to share is Flame Tree Barbecue, because there's such a spread out area with tables, and you're outside and you've got views into the different areas around the river there. So that's one of the hangouts that I like in Animal Kingdom.
My absolute favorite hangout is in Animal Kingdom. I'm not going to share the exact location, but there's a place where you go down a few steps and you're along the river there, and you can just relax and chill. There are tables above that where you can sit to. And it is one of the most, if not the most relaxing spots in all of Walt Disney World.
When we ride Expedition Everest, my wife heads over to a shady area near the Finding Nemo, and there's some tables over there near the river, or you call it the river, lake, whatever that is there. she said the same thing. It's very relaxing, and there's not a lot of people there. It's pretty quiet.
Yep, because not everybody knows about it.
Right.
And that's why I don't want to give the exact location.
Exactly.
It's like giving away your favorite fireworks spot.
Yeah.
That, you know what, that is in Magic Kingdom, that has changed because of how things are set up now. It used to be in the street off of Casey's Corner, not anymore.
Well, but it's going to change again because
Yes, it will.
we're going back to happily ever after.
Yeah.
I still think they're going to use the buildings on both
Yeah, they
sides
are.
of Main Street, so you're
Yeah.
going to want to be
And
right there,
enhance
smack in the middle.
Yeah, I think that would be a mistake if they didn't.
Yep. I agree.
Technology's installed.
Yep.
Yeah. Anybody have a favorite spot in Magic Kingdom they love to hang out? I can think of a couple.
There's a couple.
Definitely.
You got the rocking chairs on Tom Sawyer Island. If you don't want to go there, over where Huck Finn's keel boat used to be, down in that landing, there's actually rocking chairs there with a checkerboard where you can sit down and just play checkers.
How about the riverboat itself? Just going around the lake. That is a beautiful, relaxing ride.
Mm-hmm. My favorite hangout spot in the Magic Kingdom, if it's available, and I've said this on some recent past podcasts, is the side street off of Main Street. If there's one of the cafe tables open there, it is such a relaxing and can be a very quiet, out of the way space.
Yeah.
And you can listen to what's going on up above.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Isn't there a music teacher in there?
There's there's a number of open windows on Main Street. And
right.
I think you're right about that one.
Yeah. Epcot's, right now in World Showcase, there's a lot of spots. The Gardens in the UK Pavilion.
Morocco.
Almost any of the pavilions, there's places where you can just hang out and relax. I think the formal area of the park called Future World, once that transforms, I think we're going to find a lot of new spots to just hang out and relax.
Yeah, I used to like to be able to go to the side of Innoventions. There's a bunch of tables and restrooms and glass windows there, and sometimes people would end up there, but it was a nice place to get out of the hustle and bustle, relax, take a snack, take a drink back there. But short of since that's no longer there, one of the places I've been doing that lately is the Odyssey. And they have seating there, and they have off and on, they've had some food and drinks there, especially when there's some kind of festival going on. But it's air conditioning. You can get out of the way, find a cushy chair, and again, get out of the mainstream.
Now, one of the areas we like to go at Epcot, Darlene was probably about to say the same thing.
That's
the DVC Lounge.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that was coming.
Oh, yeah.
I was waiting to see which one of you would bring it up.
Three of us
I was
are
gonna say,
able to access
repeat
it.
me.
So they give you a snack. You get a free little snack of some kind of chips. Some are healthy chips-ish, healthy-ish. And they've got the Coca-Cola freestyle machines. So you can make every different flavor you want. So it's really good to and it's air conditioned. Kick back, relax. Great view of what used to be called Future World.
I also like the spot by the lagoon area by where they normally have Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and that they have the one area with some tables and stuff set up. That's a nice area. And the area by the UK back there is a good place to just escape and enjoy your time.
Oh
Upper
yeah,
level of Canada.
Hey.
Oh yeah, Canada too, back by
Nothing
the
right
waterfall.
Yeah.
It is not
Yeah.
Niagara Falls, but it's similar.
similar.
Similar. Yeah.
It's water.
It's a miniature version of
It's a miniature version.
And it's nicer because the Canadian side is nicer.
Exactly.
Less rocks,
Mhm.
more
Less
water, less
rocks.
rocks.
Yeah. I just getting off topic for a second. For those of you who've been to Niagara Falls and have been on both sides, the U.S. side and the Canadian side, why has New York State allowed its side to get the way it is? When you go over to the Canada side, it is absolutely breathtaking and beautiful and wonderful.
I think Mother Nature has a bit to do with how they look.
Well, it's what the U.S. side has decided to not do, as opposed to, it's just they let
Did
it
they
go.
block it off for a while so they could rebuild some of, or not rebuild, but
I don't know.
clean some of that up on the Canadian side? Like
That-
40 years ago or something, they did
I
that.
don't know. I think the only thing, what's their Planet Hollywood? That's like the only thing there in a gambling hall
Hmm.
on the U.S. side. That's pales in comparison to what's going on over in Canada. So hopefully they'll do something about that in the future. Anyway, back to our favorite hangouts at Disney.
Yeah, we were in Epcot.
Yes, we were.
Yeah.
My favorite is the gardens in the UK.
And Japan. I love I
Oh,
love
yeah, Japan too.
both for different
Mm.
reasons. Yeah.
You know what? Another hangout that I love, but for a different reason, is Via Napoli. Just being in there. I love the atmosphere. I freaking
The
love the
atmosphere there is
pizza.
nice.
The pizza's awesome.
Mhm.
I just love hanging out there and eating. Hey, maybe I'll go tomorrow. Oh, gotta make a reservation.
Yeah, make it now. No walk up. Sorry.
Two, one for the park and one for the restaurant.
Well, yeah,
There you go.
that's true.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Well, you can get in after 2:00, can't you?
Not yet.
That hasn't started yet.
No, it hasn't
Have
started.
they announced a date for that yet?
No.
Okay.
I think it'll be after spring break and the Easter holiday.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know for sure. We'll see what Disney decides to do. So we've done Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom.
Hollywood.
Well, there's more areas in Animal Kingdom too. I mean, you got
There are.
Gorilla
Pandora.
Falls. Go walk around at Gorilla Falls.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That
or
whole
the
area?
tigers.
Yep.
Right, the
Maharaja.
Tigers, Maharaja Jungle
Yeah,
Trek,
Rahman.
Discovery Island, the trails
Mhm.
through there. There's nobody in there. I always forget about them.
My favorite place is to go to Flame Tree Barbecue in that seating area there by the water.
Yeah,
John
what
That's
I
what
said
John said.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so great.
That last time we were there, though, that was swamped. We couldn't even find
Yeah,
a table anywhere.
People are listening to our podcast. That's
They've got a
why.
lot of seating, but there are times when the seating can be pretty filled.
Yeah.
If anyone's listening to our podcast who's never, or watching us, who's never been to Walt Disney World or Animal Kingdom, and you're planning on going to Animal Kingdom, a great relaxing place is It's a Bug's Life. Just make sure your feet are on the ground
And your
and
butt
you're
is flat on
sitting
your
tight,
seat.
right, and you're sitting back in your seat and just relax and enjoy the show. Oh,
I
boy.
still love it's a Bug's Life.
I love that show.
Mhm.
Or I'm sorry, Tough to Be a Bug.
Right.
That's right. Tough to be a bug. The bird show there, that's a relaxing place to just hang out and watch the birds and
The fans. Yep.
Take a load off.
yeah.
Yep.
Satuli Canteen.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
One of my
Oh,
favorite hangouts
love that place.
in Animal Kingdom.
Love
Inside.
that place.
Inside. For me, it's
Outside the summertime is not fun in 105.
No, not outside.
It's not fun even when it's not so hot.
Your food stays warm outside, but oh man, it's melting.
Yeah, and you're gonna need to run. You're gonna be constantly drinking, so you'll be running inside anyway to get refills. So if you can get a seat inside, get the seat
I
inside.
have to see if they've got a posted recipe for the blueberry domes.
I don't know. I will say this though, it depends on what time of the day you go. At 9:00 at night, when the park is closing, walking around in Pandora is just breathtaking. It's quiet. There's not a lot of people there anymore because the attractions are closed then. The lights that are coming off the ground All of the water features are just breathtaking. It's a beautiful time to be there, and if you got a good camera, take pictures.
I think Darlene's listening to something.
Hello?
Doesn't realize she's not muted.
My phone just started like playing automatically. I don't know why. I must have had a reminder on something to start. Sorry.
It's all right.
I wondered who that was.
Yeah. It's our friend from a few weeks ago when we had to redo the show.
No.
News report.
Yeah, that was not relaxing in the slightest.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we had a little technical difficulty a few weeks back, and we were actually recorded most of a show that we had to stop, delete the show, and then re-record it.
We had 2 minutes left.
It was a lesson learned. It was a lesson learned. We've upped our security here so that a-hole, I'll say it, we'll never get back in here.
Yeah.
So,
Thank goodness.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yep.
Move over to Disney Hollywood Springs.
Hollywood Springs. You mean
Hollywood
Disney Springs?
Studios?
Springs, what the?
Hollywood. Yeah.
Oh, it's been a long day. Hollywood.
You know where it's always quiet? Gertie the Dinosaur.
Yes.
Usually,
That
especially
area
once
where
those
the
restaurants
tables are
close.
and stuff.
If you can find at night, it's a good place to hang out. I
Right.
wouldn't do it during the day because there's no shade there. But at night, it's a good place to just relax and hang out, and watch people walk by.
The nooks and crannies of Batu. As busy as that place is, there are nooks and crannies in there that you can just be alone, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was up on my list, and I would add Docking Bay 7 into that too.
Oh yeah, it's another good area. Yep. Like I said before, I love that park. I love just walking around there. It's not hanging out, but I love walking around the park at night and just looking at the lights and it just, they did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Park.
Now
That is a good one.
It's basically a completely dead corner, but if you need somewhere just quiet,
oh, I know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
Go over by what was the last thing it was known as was the Star Wars Docking Bay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Enzo's.
Oh God, no!
Because it gets really quiet there at night, and that's a good place to just chill.
There's nothing in that. There's a bathroom back in the corner.
But
other than that, I don't know if there's anything. I mean, it's where the Little Mermaid was. It's gone. It's just quiet. It's enjoyable. If you just need quiet, listen to the music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know. I like sitting when we're there. We like taking a break in that, and not during the busy time of like eating and stuff, but the row where ABC commentary is.
Yeah, the table's there. Yeah, that is a good place to just sit and relax. Although it can get very noisy there because it bounces off of the walls.
It
Old
can.
kids running by and the adults. That's not far from Sci-Fi Theater, John's favorite place. Sci-Fi Dining, I should say. Sorry.
Well, we're not talking about the romantic spots anymore.
Muppets 3D, there's a lot of seating over there too that you can sit and enjoy.
Yeah. Yep.
Go to Rizzo's.
Rizzo's. I said Enzo's before. I meant Rizzo's.
I wondered where you were going with Enzo's.
Yeah,
That's
sorry. I
Springs.
screwed that up before. I meant Rizzo's. Enzo, Rizzo, same thing. No, it's not.
A little bit of a price difference there, mister.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Where's the Brown Derby?
That's pretty quiet over there too.
The Brown Derby.
Can be, yeah.
Where that bakery used to be. I don't think it's there anymore, is it?
No, now it's what is it? A gift shop now, or?
No, they moved the
I didn't think
bakery
it's
into the
open
gift
for
shop.
anything.
No, I'm
It's
thinking
not
of the
open
fudge
for
shop.
anything
The
anymore.
fudge shop is now a gift shop.
Is it a fudge? It's not a bakery anymore. It's now a complete gift shop again. Because it was a gift shop because the bakery was down below, and then they closed the bakery down below and turned the gift shop into the bakery. Now
Yeah.
is it open
You're
down
talking
below?
about
then?
what used to be the villain shop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It doesn't have that layout and design anymore, but it's
No.
still a gift shop, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me look.
Bernie looks like he's dead back there, my dog. He's
Yeah,
like-
Bernie's been he keeps rolling around. He turned
Yeah.
around.
You know, he under the blanket.
Can you see the lump?
Yeah,
This
I
is
do.
why I can never find this dog, because he's always burrowed.
Yeah, you know, it's there. There are a lot of nice spots to hang out in each park, and I'd be curious to find out from our listeners or viewers if they have a favorite that we haven't mentioned. John, I'm sure you've got a few we haven't mentioned yet.
Well, let me see. Well, the places that we haven't talked about yet
It's outside of the parks.
are outside of the
Yeah.
parks, in the resorts. I especially, well, I like to visit a lot of them. Whether it's the Loop, the monorail loop
Oh
at,
yeah.
at Magic Kingdom, or the Wilderness Lodge. I love to visit the resorts, but the Wilderness Lodge is relaxing just to go sit in the lobby or walk around and visit the gift shop or go up to some of the other floors and look down. I love just going out and visiting the resorts, finding a comfortable place to sit, finding a snack, finding a drink.
Yeah. The Carolwood Pacific Room
Yeah.
over at the Wilderness Lodge
That's a good
is
one.
phenomenal, and it's always empty. And there's a little fireplace going, and you've got the cars that Walt built for his railroad cars. All the railroad memorabilia, a lot of it is some of Walt's stuff or stuff that they've made for commemorating that. Some stuff I really wish I had bought when it was available.
Yeah, and you know, also just hanging out in the lobby of the Wilderness Lodge. It's just a
Yeah.
The
nice-
music, oh, it's so
Mhm.
good.
Oh, and the seats and just yeah. And that's the same thing with like the Grand Floridian when the piano player is there or the band is up and on the second floor playing. Oh, just amazing.
Same with the Animal Kingdom Lodge, the lobby there at the John.
Oh yeah.
Jumbo looking out onto the main
Savannah.
area.
Savannah. Mm-hmm.
Savannah, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
So much fun.
Oh God. You know, you don't have to be in the parks to find a great place to hang out, and you don't need to just be in a resort to find a great place to hang out. You know, almost anywhere you go on property, you can find a place where you can just sit and have a little, you know, nice quiet moment.
Not at the pools over at the Pop Century Resort. That's for
No,
sure.
no. Any of the no. All right. Yeah, you're right. The pools at any of the all-star resorts, yeah,
Insane. Yeah, people are like,
Yeah.
I want a pool view. I said, you can have it.
John, are we keeping you up?
I am sorry. It was a busy day at work today.
I'm sure.
Mhm.
Any place else anybody wants to mention before we end this long show?
I have on my list any food court at any resort,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's value, moderate, or deluxe.
During an off time.
Yeah, during off time. I don't know about when it's crazy during the middle of the day or early morning. Oof.
Well, I mean, I'm not looking to relax necessarily early in the morning, but like I've said before, we like to go out to the different resorts and to the food courts
Mhm.
to have dinner. And while everybody else is Well, you have to time it right. You don't want to be there when everybody's coming back 8 o'clock,
Checking
9 o'clock from the park,
Right.
because it gets really crowded. But if you're there 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, everybody else is out eating dinner in the parks or at one of the nicer restaurants in the resort. So hitting the food courts at dinner time is not necessarily a bad deal. Same with lunch, although it's a little more disruptive sometimes at lunch
Mhm.
in your schedule.
Yeah. Yep.
Did we mention anything about Disney Springs?
No, we haven't.
So Disney Springs has a couple nice places, especially by AMC Theater. There's a lot of seating, and they normally have the bands playing. Also down by House of Blues, you can catch some spots to sit outside,
And some good music.
and some good music. Inside and outside their little garden area, because we've already sat outside when the tables were filled and stuff. But and then there's also the area by the carousel and that on the other
Yeah,
side.
right, not exactly behind Goofy's, but on the other side of Goofy's and
Yep.
the Star Wars, whatever,
Right.
whatever store that is there.
Yeah. And besides for, of course, the the little like concert area, band stations that they have where you see music, or you can see when they have the dance groups come in, the cheerleaders and all that stuff in front of World of Disney. There's a little stage now between Boathouse and Jacques Lindsay's. I mean, there's just oodles and oodles of places to sit and relax, people watch.
Mhm. Yeah. You can see even crazier people at Disney Springs than you can in the park.
Yes, easily.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Isn't there still a balcony at the Coca-Cola store up above
Yes, there
where you
is.
can walk
Yeah.
around?
Goes all the way up. Yeah, haven't been up that far yet to hang
Been there
out.
in a while.
Yeah, it's a fun place, the Coca-Cola building.
Mhm.
It is.
All right, I think that is going to wrap it up for us.
I think that does it. Yeah.
We kind of hit, not everywhere, but we kind of hit a lot of the
Some of
spots.
our favorites, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the water parks, probably because we don't go there very
I
often.
don't go there enough.
Um,
I have to mention, I forgot to say the train area over in Germany. Nice, quiet area to just kind of walk around and enjoy the trains as they
Yeah.
go through.
I think about that every time I walk by, Kurt. I think of you.
Yeah, I do too.
I-
Isn't that funny?
Every time.
I always look and say, okay, what's changed? Is it worthy enough to send a picture to Kurt?
They'll change out that main street area
Yep.
with every time. If it's a flower garden, the art, whatever they're doing, it'll change. If you got to look at those little posts, they got the different banners on there. They change it every time.
All right. I hope you guys hung in there with us through this show.
All right. Hopefully, we get a good night's sleep now.
Yeah.
Falling asleep to us.
Yeah, I honestly did not expect us to talk about Disney Plus as long as we did. That's why I had a couple of topics here, figuring I didn't think either one of these topics would last that long. But hey, I hope we helped everybody out by giving you a few new hangout places on Disney World property, not just in the parks. And if anybody has any that we haven't mentioned that you really would like us to know about, please drop us a line. You can leave a comment on our YouTube channel. You could message me on Facebook, or any one of us on Facebook. Yeah, that's it. All right. So there comes Cogsworth. Hey,
There
Cogsworth.
it is.
He wanted
For
to
those
say
of you
goodnight.
who are listening to us, you're missing all the fun here because you can't see Bernie the dog sleeping behind me, and Cogsworth, Darlene's dog.
Was just woke up.
Yeah. Right. As that cruel and inhumane owner did to her dog. No, I'm kidding. All right, we're out of here. We will be back next week, probably with our 2 regular shows. We'll split them back up again. All right. Everybody have a safe rest of the week, a great weekend, and until next time, be safe. Bye-bye.
Happy Valentine's Day. Good night, everybody.
If I'm going to take a quick moment here, just if anybody ever wonders where I come up with my closings or how I go about it, these things are just things that occur to me while we're in the middle of the show. But tonight, I'm going to combine one of my favorite places to lounge out. I think it might have been one of the first ones I said, and I'm going to combine that with a little bit of Valentine's Day, and I'm going to share with you. We'll take a ride on an old horse car. I'll buy you a chocolate bar, and you'll be the sweetest girl by far down on Old Main Street. Hope to meet you down on Main Street next week. Good night. Happy Valentine's Day.
Have a magical night. Happy Valentine's Day. And remember to pack your sunscreen.